Most times when you feel like you're having much more discharge, please move to cotton panties. Just take off your shirt and perceive your underarms. If it smells, that is your sign to you.
16 missed calls. Sorry I was busy, but I missed y'all. If you see me ballin' in my bitch ball, my niggas ballin' like.
Hi, welcome to another sit down video. If you're a new subscriber, my name is a.aimuan. I'm a makeup artist and a YouTuber, currently based in Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. From the title, I guess you already know what today's video is all about. As a growing woman, I decided to speak on practices, rituals we can all adopt in order to improve our feminine hygiene and make us much more comfortable in our body. First things first, I want to just put it out there that I'm not a gynecologist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not an expert, but I am a lady, and these practices are something that I do practice. In fact, I feel like they're very basic, so there's something like, oh, it's different. It's very basic. So if you're interested in this video, keep on watching. So the first on my list here would be panty liners. Some of us have heard about panty liners, some of us haven't heard about it, some of us have seen it but don't know what it's used for. But panty liners are absorbent materials just like sanitary pads, but in this case they are smaller. They absorb little volume or substances or discharge compared to sanitary pad. Now, why do I think sanitary pad is something that we should adopt? Okay, there are some times when, let's say after our monthly periods, like days after, we have like spotting and all of that. Sanitary pads are things that are materials that could help in absorbing that will not like let you wear a whole sanitary pad and you just see that it's like 3 dots that is there. Do you get what I'm saying? And another thing is that I feel like sanitary pads helps in the longevity of our panties. Okay, we are growing women, we see these things daily. There are times when our panties tend to like fade away, or they have this bleach like color in between them, and you think that, oh my god, what is this? It's not about you being dirty. It's nothing. It has nothing to do with dirt. We all know the kind of discharge that comes out of our body and know the nature of it. It's acidic in nature, hence it bleaches our panties. But if you have like a panty liner in between that, it's going to help in protecting the material of the panties. In my case, I like to call it a panty protectant. Yeah, I think that's a word. That's a word I just formed. So my next ritual, which is sanitary pads, I am fully aware of how different our hormones are, our bodies are, and our flows are. Some people have light flow and heavy flow. In my opinion, anything should be common amongst all sanitary pads, and one should be comfort. And in terms of comfort, we won't talk about like the size, the choice of absorbance, and durability. In terms of comfort, I like to look out for lightweight pads, and I've come to realize that it's not necessarily the size that it determines how lightweight it is. It's basically the material that is used to make it or manufacture it. I have observed that cotton absorbent pads are much more lightweight compared to gel-like pads. And some of the sanitary pads that I have used, I would say, okay, yes, they are cotton-like and they are comfortable. It's the long reach sanitary pad and the soft care sanitary pads. In my honest opinion, I would say the long reach sanitary pad and the soft care sanitary pads are literally the same when it comes to comfort and choice of material, but they differ in price and quantity. I think the soft care is cheaper and has much more pads compared to the long reach sanitary pad. So whatever flow you have, type of flow you have, these are things that I personally feel like should be, common in all sanitary pads. I mean, you don't want to wear a sanitary pad and feel like you have like a truck in between your legs. That's like 5 days of discomfort. Like, is it really worth it? Tell me, like, is it really worth it? Another thing I would want to talk about in terms of rituals or things that we should adopt is choice of panties, undergarments, however you may call it or however you may know it as. Now, in the feminine world, there are a lot of panties. They are in different size, form, shapes, material. But one thing I think or I feel is recommendable, or that is top of my recommendation, would be cotton panties. Because girl, cotton is a very good absorbent, and we know the nature of our vagina. Like, it needs air, it needs to breathe. So when you're wearing panties that are not necessarily cotton, they're not absorbing your discharge, hence it's going to be there for a long time, which will cause discomfort, which will most likely disrupt our pH, and sometimes can even lead to a yeast infection. Whatever choice of panties you may wear or decide to wear, I would always advise and suggest that you go for the ones that are good absorbents. However, you know that there are different phases in our menstrual cycle or in our monthly whatever. Those times when you feel like you're having much more discharge, please move to cotton panties. Just move to cotton panties. Another set of panties that I find really disturbing, which is really common, are the panties that have little or no material, it's just like thread. Do you understand? It looks really nice. I mean, if you should wear that kind of panties and you wear a jean or you wear a dress, you're not going to see your panty lines or anything. But whenever I see such panties, the only thing that comes to my mind is this material is in between your bum. I feel like because it's directly in between your bum, it's giving free access from the bacteria from your bum to travel straight to the vagina, and something about that just seems really uncomfortable to me. But I'm not here to cancel it or whatever, because I mean, it's your choice. So we've talked about that category of personal hygiene. I want to move to the oral hygiene. Now, I'm not going to talk about mouthwash. I'm not talking about or brush 2 times a day. No, that's not it. I only want to talk about one thing, which is the tongue scraper. See, many people don't use tongue scrapers or the tongue brush. I think it's something we really need to adopt. Sometime in my vlog, I bought a tongue scraper, and ever since then I have not looked back, because I noticed that the bristles from the normal brush we use to brush our teeth don't do an effective job when it comes to washing our tongue. Sometimes, I don't know, the bristles may be too hard for our tongues or maybe too wide for our tongues, but there are some brush tongues and brush scrapers that are specifically designed for the tongue, because the bristles are short and very soft, hence they get to remove or scrape those things that could not originally be taken out by the brush. However, the tongue is a very delicate part of the body, so you have to be very careful in terms of when you're using tongue scraper, so you don't hurt yourself. But it's something I really do think we should adopt. Then in terms of mouthwash, I don't really have much to say, considering the fact that most of the mouthwash, if you brush your teeth, you've used tongue scraper, you have used tongue brush. Mouthwash, true, is a mint, is a refreshment, but it doesn't last 24 hours, so I don't get why I should be putting that out in my mouth when it lasts 24 hours. What I would advise is, as girls, you should have mint chewing gums, mint sweets, or flavored sweets in our purse, just so we can throw it into the mouth during our day. It's really going to improve your oral hygiene. Now, to the next tip would be how we smell. I'm not going to talk about use of perfumes or body mist. I'm going to talk about the use of deodorants and roll-on specifically, because you are meant to sweat. I don't really support the idea of using antiperspirant, because you're meant to sweat, just like I don't support the idea of using sweat block, because you're meant to sweat. So one thing I always advise is, if you're going for roll-ons, you can go for the gel-like roll-ons. That way it doesn't stop you from sweating, but you don't smell. Let me explain something to you. If you don't use roll-ons or whatever it is, when you sweat, because of the nature of our body and where the underarm is, it tends to smell, because there's no air, there's no free air. So the idea of using roll-on, especially gel-like roll-on, is if you sweat, instead of you to have a bad smell, it becomes your roll-on that smells. I want you all to do something for me today. When you're done with your day, or when you're watching this video, just take off your shirt and perceive your underarms. If it smells, please, that is your sign to use roll-ons. But if it doesn't, then you're good. And from there, you can now graduate to use of body mist and perfumes, and also shower gel or type of soap you use. In my opinion, all of this helps to give this body a particular scent, like a natural body smell. Anyways, guys, I've come to the end of the video. These are the things that I could just coagulate and think, oh yeah, this is something I can actually talk about. If you have any addition, the comment is open. And I also want to thank you guys for the love of my other video. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the channel, and I hope you love this content enough to subscribe to my channel. So till next time, guys, stay clean, stay bougie, and stay blessed. Bye.